What's up and Gail and everybody, welcome back to the Modern Roots Kitchen channel. Today we're going to be making some delicious Thanksgiving sides. Stay tuned. Roll the intro. This is my space. This is my craft. This is Modern Roots Kitchen. Alright y'all, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our cast iron pan preheating. We're going to start our Brussels sprouts. So I went ahead and did most of these, just halved them and took off the ugly little stem on the bottom. So do a couple more for you guys. Just cut off that ugly little stem, cut it in half. Ugly stem, cut it in half. Ugly stem, cut that sucker in half. Now, to go with our Brussels sprouts, most people don't like Brussels sprouts. That's just because they don't know how to cook them good, cook them well. You gotta roast them or fry them or something where you're gonna get that deep caramelized flavor, not just like boiled Brussels sprouts or something like that. So what we're gonna do to improve it is we're gonna roast our Brussels sprouts and we're gonna use a little Spanish chorizo. So this is a non-cured Spanish style chorizo right here. I'm just gonna cut a chunk of it. We're gonna cut it in half. So we're gonna go ahead and cut it down the middle, cut little slices of it. Now this dish is inspired by a restaurant called the Boiler House over in the Pearl Brewery in San Antonio, Texas. I used to work there and this is probably our most popular side dish, which was the chorizo Brussels with just some grilled lemon on the side, a little Parmesan. So we're doing a rendition of that. So this one's gonna have some fresh queso fresco and a nice little lemon vinaigrette that we're gonna make. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start to render some of the fat from this chorizo. And the Spanish chorizo has all kinds of delicious spices, garlic, paprika, comino, salt, pepper, everything you need. So we're gonna go ahead and render this fat instead of using olive oil, and that's gonna go ahead and basically season our Brussels sprouts, which we're gonna throw in next. Get those going. And we're just gonna go ahead and let these saute. No extra oil. All the fat we need is from that chorizo. So we're gonna let that saute a bit, get some nice color. I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright y'all, so we got some nice color on our Brussels sprouts. Got it going in high heat. Rendered a lot of that fat from the chorizo. We're just looking to build some color, build some flavor right now. So I'm just gonna add a nice big pinch of salt and just some fresh cracked black pepper. Now like I said, that chorizo has a lot of other seasonings in it. Very garlic heavy, very heavy on the paprika. It's gonna add a nice color. Got the nice pork fat obviously. So just a little salt and pepper. Now what I'm gonna do next is lower this down and we're gonna make our vinaigrette to toss our Brussels sprouts in, and then we're gonna toss them in the oven to finish cooking. So it's a real easy vinaigrette. It's just basically 2 parts olive oil to 1 part each apple cider vinegar and fresh lemon. So we're gonna get más o menos 2 parts olive oil. Gonna hit it with the apple cider vin, fresh lemon. Should be about 1 full lemon. We'll serve the rest fresh on the side at the end for serving. Now a little kitchen hack. Not a lot of people know the best way to make a vinaigrette without it splitting, which means having half oil and half vinegar in your vinaigrette, is you want to put it in a little jar. Just shake it. Easiest way to make a vinaigrette, works every single time. Just shake it in a jar, it's going to get all emulsified. have a perfect vinaigrette. We're gonna toss that in the pan. We're gonna let that deglaze all that beautiful flavor we have at the bottom of the pan. Give it a mix. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven for about 20 minutes until the Brussels sprouts are nice and soft and all the flavors have commingled. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and get our mashed potatoes started. All right, y'all, so our Brussels sprouts are in the oven. We got some water coming up to a boil. So what I like to do with my mashed potatoes, they're pretty basic, but how I like to boil them is like how you would do like a Cajun boil, like a crawfish boil or something like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning all up in this water. Quite a good amount. And of course that's gonna add flavor, it's gonna add spice to our potatoes. So, woo! That seasoning. So the potatoes that I have chosen are some small golden Yukons and some new red potatoes. I just cut them in half. The bigger ones I cut in quarters. So we're gonna go ahead and get these boiling. Careful with that seasoning, man. That seasoning will get you, man. So we're gonna throw our potatoes in our hot water, bring it back up to a boil, and we're gonna let these cook until they're fork tender. And then we're gonna mash them with a whole bunch of goodies. So I'll see you guys in a little bit when these potatoes are tender and our Brussels sprouts are finished. Alright y'all, so our Brussels sprouts are chilling in the oven, staying warm. Our potatoes have been boiling for about 25-30 minutes. They're nice and fork tender. Go ahead and get you a little poker device. Check your potatoes. Got all that beautiful flavor from our Tony Chachere's Cajun seasoning. So we're gonna go ahead and drain these joints. So let me get a towel. We're gonna go ahead and drain it. Be very careful with your nose when draining this Cajun water. You're gonna see right now. Woo! Alright y'all, so we're gonna drain our potatoes real good. We're gonna throw them back in our pot. Now we're gonna start the fun stuff. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of salt, not too much like you normally would, because it's already been boiling with that Cajun seasoning that has salt in it. We're gonna do plenty of freshly cracked black pepper. Beautiful. Okay. Now I'm gonna grab a little whisk, and we're just gonna mash our potatoes. Now, if you have a potato ricer or something like that, an actual potato masher, go ahead and use that. I'm just using a little wire whisk. That's what I got on hand at the time. So we're gonna get them just about all the way mashed now that they're nice and hot and soft. We're gonna go ahead and add my secret ingredient. One of my favorite foods ever is some Boursin cheese. This is a soft cheese with garlic and herbs in it. It's freaking delicious. This is gonna set your mashed potatoes apart from anybody else's. So this is at room temperature, nice and soft. We're gonna go ahead and throw that entire thing in there. That stuff is bomb. For a charcuterie board with some bread, forget about it. Also, we're gonna add some cold butter. Now, the reason that it's cold is you don't want to add melted butter to your mashed potatoes. A lot of people make that mistake, and when you do that, you're gonna end with a greasy mashed potato product instead of a nice creamy, consistent product, because after you melt it, the milk solids and the fats kind of split, so you end up with grease and milk solids instead of butter. So you want to have cold sweet cream butter just on the verge of frozen. It's gonna incorporate a lot better. You're gonna have a nice velvety texture instead of some greasy potatoes. Nobody wants greasy potatoes. Now the next thing we're gonna add is some half and half. So we got a nice little pint of half and half right here. Use that whole pint. And we're just gonna continue to mash these mashed potatoes in. So go ahead and just get after it, you know? Alright, so boom. You could totally stop here and have some beautiful velvety mashed potatoes. But another little step that I like to do is I like to bake these. So I'm just gonna get me a towel. I'm gonna go ahead and put these into a little baking dish. I just like the presentation. I like that it thickens them up a little bit more. Just more flavor, you know. So I'm gonna throw our mashed potatoes in our pan. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of queso fresco on the top, just for some added freshness, creaminess, a little bit of saltiness. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the broiler of my oven for about 5 to 10 minutes just to get the top nice and brown. It's gonna be a beautiful presentation, so I'll see you guys when it's done. Alright y'all, so we got our roasted Brussels sprouts with our Spanish chorizo. Went ahead and grilled a lemon for the side. I'm gonna go ahead and garnish this with a little bit of fresh queso fresco right on top. Looking absolutely beautiful. We have our mashed potatoes fresh out of the broiler. Super, super hot, but I'm gonna try and get a taste just for the camera. Get right here on the side. Damn, that's hot. That's so good. The Cajun seasoning that we boiled our potatoes in really comes through. Perfect amount of salt, nice and creamy, nice and rich. That Boursin cheese adds that garlicky, oniony flavor. Not oily whatsoever. Nice texture on top. Phenomenal mashed potatoes, not even gonna lie. Now if you want to finish this with some green onions, some fresh herbs, whatever you like, a little bit of greenage. I'm gonna go ahead and get one of these Brussels sprouts, squeeze our grilled lemon right on top. That's insane. That chorizo really flavors those Brussels sprouts. You get that deep caramelized flavor. The lemon makes it pop. Saltiness from the queso fresco. Bomb. You guys gotta make this for Thanksgiving. These are just 2 sides. Next week we're gonna hit 2 more Thanksgiving sides, so stay tuned. Make sure to like the video, leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time.